Hey friends, another week has come and gone, and I am here with my home fragrance empties. So I have a Scentsy wax, I have Lavender wax, and I have one candle this week as well. I feel like I have a lot of just one-off vendors this week, so there will be a lot of vendors I'm talking about, but just like one item from each of them. In general, I think that this was the last week that I'm going to be pulling from my fall melting basket. I've had a fall melting basket since September, and I have been using wax out of there. And I'm ready for holiday wax. I'm ready to make that transition. I'm ready to put my Christmas tree up. So I've already filmed my holiday, like December melting basket. I have that scheduled to go up the day after Thanksgiving, because historically that's when I normally start warming holiday waxes right after Thanksgiving. But I'm just kind of in the mood to start melting them now, so maybe I'll bump that video up sooner. That way you guys can see what I'm going to be melting, for the holiday before I start putting it in my empties. But a little bit of winter here, some perfumey scents, and then also kind of the end of fall and using up fall wax. For the candle that I used, I have had this candle for years. This is a Kringle candle from their Halloween line, and this was Scarecrow. Now, I don't know anything about the scent notes on this scent. I don't think they put scent notes anywhere, and this still has wax in it. Still has quite a bit of wax in it, actually, probably like a third of the candle. But I have been working on this candle for the last couple of Halloween seasons, and I'm just not making that much progress on it. And I burned this quite a bit this season, more so for like an ambiance. I really can't tell you what the scent of this is. I paired it with why can I not speak? I paired it with other wax melts and just kind of used it as a Halloween ambiance piece. However, the last couple of times I have lit this candle, all I smell is smoke. And the last time I melted it, I was like, why do you keep lighting this candle if all you're getting from it is smoke? So I decided it's a done deal. I have gotten its use out of it. I've gotten its life out of it. And there's no reason to keep lighting something in my home that just smells like smoke. So I am moving on from Scarecrow. Beautiful label, great atmospheric scent, but nothing I need more of. And actually, I have quite a few Kringle Halloween candles from previous years that I am still trying to work on. I'm just really not a candle person, but I got through two candles this fall, so I am happy about that. Okay, for Scentsy, I have, 6 bars it looks like. First bar is Iced Balsam. This is the December scent of the month that is coming out, and I actually just did a whole video review on this bar that includes both cold sniff impressions and my warm review, so I will link that in the card above so you can watch that if you're interested in this scent or if you want to get more details about it. I'm not going to go into everything I said about this bar here again, but in general, I did really like this. And it was a good performer. So if you like a good performing tree fragrance, you probably would really like that, or check that video out to see everything I said about it. Then Warm Winter Night. I got this bar in an LTO, I think, last holiday season, one of those bundles, I want to think. I don't know if this is available now or not. They brought back quite a few LTO bars to the catalog this past year, I feel like. So this might be in the catalog, but I'm not sure. So this one is Bourbon, Citrus, and Brown Sugar. I put this one in my bedroom. It was really pretty. It definitely is like a deep bourbon kind of body care-ish bourbon a little bit. It's very warm and cozy. Perfect for a bedroom. Not something that I need to get any more of, but a nice cozy wintertime fragrance. I also went through the November scent of the month, Cocoa Cashmere. So similar story to the iced balsam. I did a whole video on this bar, so I won't go into more details about this here. But it's a nice perfumey fragrance. Definitely makes me think of Sol de Janeiro quite a bit, or just like a cozy cardigan with some perfumey qualities to it. Nothing that I thought was amazing, so not one that I'm going to pick up more of. White Oak Woodland, a perfumey scent I do really enjoy. I melted this one in the bedroom. Oh, this is just like white pumpkin and driftwood meets oak. You get this beautiful, like cozy kind of spicy pumpkin, but like the white pumpkin where it's not pumpkin puree. It's very, I don't know, how would you describe white pumpkin? It's not that super savory pumpkin note. It's a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit sweeter. The spices aren't as strong. It's more upscale in my opinion. So it's like you took that and then you add a lot of beautiful oak notes to it. This is such a perfect, beautiful bedroom scent. Great performer, and I left this in my bedroom for a few days before I took it out. Really love that. Slay All Day. I just found this in my collection, and actually I have another bar of it when I went to go remove this bar from my wax inventory. I have another bar somewhere here, so I will get to enjoy it again in the future. Slay All Day has notes of mint, juniper, and crisp air. Melted this one in my bedroom as well. It's a pretty, very bright kind of spa like eucalyptus-y scent. You definitely get the mint and the juniper. You have to like those kind of sharp air fragrances, or like spa like fragrances. It's got that type of quality to it, so it was perfect for a bedroom. Very minty and bright and fresh. Not something that I would ever put in the open concept. Not a bar I think I would ever get again. I enjoy it in the bedroom, and I will enjoy the other bar that I have, but it didn't wow me per se. But a good kind of spa like minty fragrance if you enjoy those. Then lastly from Scentsy, Perfectly Cute. This was from, I believe, a Valentine's Day collection. I can't remember if it was just this last year or if it was the year before. This is one that I really enjoyed, and so when this collection was leaving, I know I stocked up on a handful of bars. This is Pear, Vanilla, and Apricot Blossom. Definitely more seasonally appropriate to spring and summer, but this has a beautiful bedroom quality to it that I really enjoy. So I melted this in the bedroom this week. It has a sweetness from the pear. You do get some apricot, but it's soft and it's sweet and it's blended really nicely. You definitely have to like pear to enjoy this, but this is not pear like you would get in honey pear cider or anything like that. It's a sweet pear and it's blended with a lot of fruit notes and then a touch of floral. A perfect bedroom scent and a great one for spring and summer. Really enjoy their Valentine's Day collections usually. I have found quite a few bars from the Valentine's Day LTO the last few years that I have really liked. But that is it for Scentsy. We have just random things of vendor wax. Maybe I'll do the non-random. When I say random, there's just one item per vendor. Maybe I'll do the one vendor that I have multiples of first, and that is from Sweet Tooth Scents. So I have been pre-filming some videos to go up in the new year, in particular for a lot of my goals. And I filmed my wax goal video the other day. You'll see that in January. But one of my wax goals, spoiler alert, for 2026 is to cut out some vendors from my collection. I keep a wax inventory spreadsheet, and there's so many vendors that I have that I'm like, oh, I have 6 of this vendor, and I have 10 of that vendor, and 9 of this vendor, and those are vendors that I can easily clear out. And I'm not saying that in a way that I dislike their wax, because that's not true at all. A lot of these vendors are vendors that I absolutely love, but I just want to be at a place where I'm not buying from as many people. I'm not trying anybody new right now, really. I'm just kind of whittling down, or trying to, trying to whittle down to my absolute top tier favorite vendors, and then trying new ones here and there. So one of my goals for 2026 is to cut out some vendors, use up the wax that I have from them that I have like 10 or less items from, right? Like try to clear some of those out. What better time to start on your goals than now? There's no better time than today. So I went through some Sweet Tooth Scents items. So I've got 2 tubs and a souffle. She has fantastic wax, but again, I had like maybe 7 pieces of it. And so I thought, let's use some of it and fit kind of what was seasonally appropriate for the fall. So I went through a souffle first off of Marching the Queen. And I was excited to melt this one because I've heard a lot of people talk about this fragrance, that they really enjoy it. I think Chris really likes this scent, if I remember right. I feel like I remember her specifically talking about this scent. This is pink pepper, neroli, jasmine, sandalwood, tobacco leaf, and leather. So I think I made a mistake on this scent by putting it in my open concept. I think this one definitely should have been a bedroom melt. But again, I had a lot of Scentsy going in my bedroom this week that lasted a couple days. And so I just, when it came time to change the wax, I put this in my open concept, and I could not smell it. It does smell fairly light on cold, but that pink pepper, that sandalwood, you do get hints of the leather. It gives me more bedroom feels than it does open concept, and it doesn't smell super strong on cold in the bag. So probably should have put it in a smaller room, because unfortunately I just did not get anything from this on cold. Or on warm. I was searching for it, and eventually I took it out and changed it. So bummer, but that's okay. You can't love everything. And then I went through 2 tubs, both pine cone related. So I went through her roasted pine cone, and I went through her raspberry pine cones. So the roasted pine cone, she has a really fantastic oil. I loved this so much. Great performer. I put this in my open concept. It lasted all day long. And normally if I have a tub this size, most of it will go in my open concept, but I'll have a couple of extra pieces. And so either I will refresh the wax at some point in that day, or I'll put the remaining couple pieces back in a bedroom. That's what I did this time. And the open concept eventually died, but the couple pieces that were back in this wax room were incredibly strong and went for multiple days. So this was a great performing scent. This has notes of pine, ozone, sandalwood, and vanilla. If you know roasted pine cones, you know what this smells like, but it's a very good oil. It was a great performer. I loved it on its own, but something like this is obviously a great mixing type of base fragrance as well. And then the raspberry pine cones is her pine cones, but mixed with raspberry jam. I love her raspberry jam. It is such a sweet, kind of macerated jelly raspberry jam. It is so, so good. So I really enjoyed this a lot, but I didn't get any roasted pine cones from it really at all. Honestly, this would have been a great mix to add more roasted pine cones to the raspberry pine cones, just to give it a little bit more tree, because the raspberry is incredibly strong in here, and I really did not pick up any tree. Not complaining, the raspberry is beautiful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it in my open concept, but do wish this had a little bit more pine cone to it. So that was all Sweet Tooth. So that was 3 from Sweet Tooth. So feeling good about that. And then we get into the stacks of just the one and dones. So from L3, I finished off a bunt in Overlook Hotel Pumpkin Firewood. So it says Cider Lane Toasted Marshmallows Smoky Fireside. Honestly, I did not get much performance from this one at all. This is old, a few years old. I definitely get like a pumpkin toasted marshmallow scent on cold, but unfortunately this one just didn't warm for me. L3 is one of those vendors. I think I talked about this in my last Empties, that I'm on like an L3 ban just because of how much I have. But L3 is also the vendor that I have noticed the most since losing scent from, if that makes sense. In general, 98% of the wax I've had has never lost its fragrance. It's been very few and far between. So I'm not saying that L3 has a bad shelf life or anything like that. 98% of my stuff is always great. But a lot of the ones that I have lost scent from have been from L3. So don't know if that just lost its scent. Maybe it never was strong in the first place. But again, I'm on an L3 ban because I mean, I'm on a ban for a lot of things, but L3 being one of them, just because I need to use up what I have from her shop, especially before it does lose any scent. And then her shop's always open. I can always get it then. From Rose Girls, I finished off a bag of Autumn Mountain. I absolutely adore this scent. It's been a while since I have melted it, but this used to be one of my top favorite fragrances. I still really enjoyed it this go around, but I can't say it was like a favorite like it used to be. Very bakery heavy scent, and I'm more into the tree and kind of perfume cologne fragrances at the moment. So not one I think I would get for a while. I do see myself eventually going back to this because it is a beautiful bakery fragrance, but I'm just kind of over it at the moment. This one has notes of Cider Lane, Dunk My Donut, and Pumpkin Pecan Waffles. If you like bakery and you've never had her Dunk My Donut, you need to get it. It is unbelievable. Jenny from Rose Girls does donut scents so well. So well. I would say the best out of anybody in the vendor wax business. So you get this beautiful, authentic, like cinnamon sugar donut, but then you have like the sweet caramel, the sweet pumpkin pecan waffles. Great scent, great performer. And again, an old favorite that I think I'm ready to move on from, but still a fantastic, fantastic scent. From Lavender and Speckles, I finished off He Said, She Said. This was a blend that Summer came up with, and it was included in Summer's Campfire Marshmallow Sampler. This is a fantastic fragrance. This is blue sugar, pink sugar, campfire marshmallow, Palo Santo, and sugar cookie royale. Love this. I went through multiple of this at this point. I think the combination of the blue and pink sugar is one of my favorites. You get that really nice creamy campfire marshmallow and just like a smokiness from the Palo. So, so pretty. But you definitely have to like blue sugar, pink sugar types of fragrances to enjoy this. But absolutely fantastic. Have purchased that again and would in the future. I think that might be my last one. Sassy Girl Aroma, I melted another old favorite of mine, Raking the Leaves. This is a brittle that I have gone through many of in the past. It's got a lot of notes and I'll read them here, but from what I remember seeing years ago on her Facebook was that it is sweater weather mixed with leaves. That was the idea. So it's sweet leaf greens, fresh pine, dewy spiced florals, earthy musk, cool mint, fruits, oak moss, sweetened with a vanilla bean. To me, I really don't get too much leaves from this, if that still is true. This is very sweater weather to me. Very bright sweater weather dupe. If you don't like sweater weather, you would not enjoy this scent, but it has gotten cold here, like real cold. And actually today it's going to be in the 70s, but then we've had days where it's been in the 30s, like for the high. So we're kind of all over the place right now, but this is a perfect November scent. At least in St. Louis here, the leaves really fall in November, and November is when we really get like true crisp cold fall. You know what I mean? Like the leaves are falling off the trees, you're raking, you're outside a lot, but also it's getting cold out. So this is the perfect November scent. So I'm glad I saved it and melted this in November. A great sweater weather kind of dupe, in my opinion. From Super Tarts, I finished off my Bam Bag in Boo. I just showed this in a video a few weeks ago, but this was one that I didn't want to put away for another season. I wanted just to finish it off to, you know, finish off some Super Tarts during Halloween. Boo is such a great fragrance. This is toasted marshmallow, vanilla bean, cornbread, and Mexican fried ice cream. If you want a really creamy, sweet, but kind of savory bakery scent, this is so pretty. Because the cornbread is savory. It's not sugary sweet, but it's just like something is baking in the oven, but you have some nice like toasted marshmallow candles or something going in your home to add a sweetness. It is a beautiful combination. If you have not tried this, I highly recommend. Great performer. Really enjoy this one. In the future, I don't know if I need to get Bam Bags of this. I think I could go for smaller sizes, but sometimes her offerings are Bam Bags only, and so I would rather have the scent in a Bam Bag than not have it at all at times. But what day is today? Today is Friday the 14th that I'm filming this. I think she's posting her Wax Wednesday list tonight, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look back at the Facebook post, but Super Tarts is doing a Wax Wednesday. I am very excited. I need nothing, but if there's like a must-have on the list, I will go in for a must-have. But I have to be very, very mindful. I have enough Super Tarts wax, but sometimes her wax is hard to get. So if there's something on there that I know is a love, that I know I will melt, as a repurchase for me, I will go in, but we'll see what the list looks like. Okay, and then the last item I have is from Teddy Bees. I melted a tub of Sweet November. I believe this was an RTS exclusive sometime last year. When was this poured? 11/26/24. So yeah, I bet it was an RTS only pour. I was kind of avoiding melting the scent because I wasn't loving it on cold, but what better time to melt Sweet November than in November. And so I kind of pushed myself to warm this week because I didn't want to let it sit another year. Warm pumpkin, earthy amber, aged wood, sweet vanilla, hints of plum and cranberry, soft spices, and baked cookies. I think what I didn't love about this is the aged wood. There's something very kind of resinous in here. It's very, how do I even describe this? It almost smells a little bit like the wood has rotten, you know, it's got a little bit of a funky wood smell to me. There's something about this that just does not do it for me. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate it. Like, it isn't a bad scent, but there's something about this fragrance that's just not agreeing with me. It was a medium performer in my open concept. I definitely could smell it, but there is no plum and cranberry. I don't really get spices. I don't get baked cookies. I get maybe like the earthy amber and the aged wood is what I get from this. I wish that the cranberry and the fruit would have come out more. I wish there would have been more of a cookie note. I think this could have been really beautiful if that woody note just was a hint or more in the background. And then you had the plum and everything, you know, in the forefront. It's definitely not sweet. I would almost say this is like woody November or earthy November. It's definitely not a sweet fragrance. So curious if you've tried this. Were you able to get your hands on this one during that RTS or in a D-stash or wherever? Curious to see what you think about it, because yeah, it was just not a favorite. Trying to do absolute favorites for the week. So let me see. Should have done this as I was as I was showing you my empties, what were my favorites? Let me say these three were the favorites. I would say just absolute standout favorite scents of the week from Scentsy. I would say the White Oak Woodland and the Iced Balsam. I love this. And then for Lavender, I would pick Sweet Tooth Scents Roasted Pine Cones. I just thoroughly enjoyed melting this. It was so good, but I'm a big roasted pine cone fan. But that is it. Those are all of my empties of things that I have finished off in the last week. Really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Really, truly appreciate it more than you know. And I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye.